Snipers are controversial figures, and so was the Vietnam War. But make no mistake, Carlos Hathcock is not a controversial figure at all. On the contrary, he was a renowned personality and arguably the greatest sniper of the Vietnam War.
Right outside my door with my hooch, and I watched him die.
Still the most famous sniper in the Marine Corps, his success was measured in more than just bodies and yards. He took delight in performing his duties to the best of his skills. Watch the video till the end, as we'll tell you everything you need to know about Carlos Hathcock. Early life. Hathcock was born on May 20, 1942 in Little Rock, Arkansas, and spent his first 12 years in Wynne, Arkansas, living with his grandmother after his parents separated. He began shooting and hunting at a young age when he was visiting relatives in Mississippi, partly out of desperation to help feed his poor family. He'd take his dog into the woods and pretend to be a soldier, hunting imaginary Japanese soldiers with the antique Mauser his father had brought back from World War II. At 12 years old, Carlos was handed a .22 caliber J.C. Higgins rifle, which he used on his hunting trips. Carlos's rifle skills rose to expert levels in only a few years, thanks to a strong eye for scouting wildlife and frequent practice due to the requirement of hunting for food. The dream. Carlos ultimately realized his desire of entering the military on his 17th birthday in 1959, when he enlisted in the Marine Corps at his local recruiting station in Arkansas. It was here that the famed Marine sniper's successful career began. When Hathcock entered the Marine Corps at the age of 23, he instantly became a famous personality as he won the renowned Wimbledon Cup shooting contest at Camp Perry in 1965. All of this occurred at a time when snipers were considered misfits in the United States military. However, Captain Edward James Land was determined to revolutionize the role of snipers in battle, believing that every platoon should have at least one sharpshooter with them. The Marine Corps was interested in this new concept. Therefore, Captain Land was given the opportunity to demonstrate and test the ability of sniper groups. So Hathcock was sent to Vietnam as a military policeman as a result of his victory at Wimbledon the year before, which had put him at the top of Land's want list. First blood. He joined the 1st Marine Division Sniper Platoon stationed at Hill 55 south of Da Nang in 1966 as a military policeman, but quickly volunteered for combat and was reassigned to the 1st Marine Division Sniper Platoon. This is where Hathcock earned the moniker White Feather, because he constantly wore a white feather on his bush hat, challenging the North Vietnamese to see him, and where he became the Vietnam War's deadliest sniper in missions that sound like they came straight out of a superhero movie. Hathcock set the world record for the longest sniper kill in 1967 by killing a Viet Cong insurgent using an M2 50 caliber Browning machine gun with a telescopic sight at a range of 2,500 yards. Hathcock was one of a number of people who used the M2 Browning machine gun for sniping. As a result of this success, the 50 caliber BMG cartridge was adopted as a viable sniper round. During the Vietnam War, Hathcock was responsible for 93 confirmed PAVN and Viet Cong kills. Kills had to be certified by a third party, who had to be an officer, in addition to the sniper spotter in the Vietnam War. During the Vietnam War, Hathcock estimated that he killed between 300 and 400 enemy troops. Hathcock's record in the U.S. Marine Corps and the unique details of the missions he undertook made him a legend. He was honored by having the Springfield Armory M25 White Feather, a variant of the M21, named after him. Highest bounty ever. For killing so many of their troops, the PAVN put a $30,000 premium on Hathcock's head. PAVN sniper rewards typically ranged from $8 to $2,000 for U.S. snipers. Hathcock held the record for the largest bounty, and every known Vietnamese marksman who tried to collect it is dead. The Viet Cong and PAVN called Hathcock Long Trang, translated as White Feather, because of the white feather he kept in a band on his bush hat. Following the dispatch of a platoon of Vietnamese snipers to track down White Feather, numerous Marines in the neighborhood donned white feathers to fool the enemy. These Marines were well aware of the significance of Hathcock's killing and decided to make themselves targets in order to confound the counter-snipers. Killing Cobra. One of Hathcock's most well-known achievements was firing an enemy sniper through the opponent's own weapon scope, killing him in the eye. Hathcock and his spotter, John Roland Burke, were pursuing the enemy sniper in the jungle near Hill 55, the firebase from which he was operating southwest of Da Nang. The shooter, known only as Cobra, had already killed numerous Marines and was thought to have been dispatched deliberately to assassinate Hathcock. When Hathcock noticed a light bouncing off the enemy sniper's sight in the bushes, he fired at it, killing the sniper through the scope. Hathcock took control of the dead sniper's gun in the hopes of bringing it home as a trophy, but it was stolen from the armory after he turned it in and labeled it. The Apache Madness. When it came to defeating his opponents from afar, Carlos Hathcock was famed for his talent and patience. However, Hathcock was far from the only well-known and feared Vietnam icon. Apache, a Vietnamese female squad leader, interrogator, and sniper, made quite a name for herself. She was known not for her sniper skills or leadership abilities, but for her penchant for torturing American soldiers. The name Apache was inspired by the Apache Indians, who were infamous for torturing their victims in ingenious ways before killing them. One of her signature maneuvers was to place herself and the POW within hearing distance of a U.S. base, so that the screams of her victim were heard by American soldiers. This was a psychological ruse combined with a trap. Even if the Americans didn't accept the bait and dash towards the GI to save him, only to be killed by one of her snipers, they'd be forced to hear their brother being tortured to death. Americans would find her victims without eyelids throughout her reign of terror, which she preserved as trophies. Skinned victims with missing fingernails were discovered. She went out of her way to castrate them as well. She'd either leave them to bleed to death or let them go with the knowledge that they wouldn't make it. After all of this, Hathcock had enough. He and his scout finally got the chance they'd been waiting for. About 700 yards out, they observed a sniper platoon. Hathcock took the shot, and as a result, Apache's spine was entirely destroyed, blowing all of her lower organs out. Her death proved a huge boost to American troops' morale. The impossible mission. During his deployment in Vietnam, Hathcock just once removed the white feather from his bush hat. He crawled over 1,500 yards of field to shoot a PAVN commander during a volunteer assignment days before his first deployment ended. He was kept in the dark about the mission's details until he agreed to do it. Without sleep and with relentless inch-by-inch crawling, this effort took him 4 days and 3 nights. He was also nearly bitten by a bamboo viper at one point, but he had the foresight to avoid moving and giving up his position. As the general walked out of his campsite, Hathcock fired a single shot into his chest, killing him. Hathcock returned to the United States in 1967 after this trip. However, he missed the Marine Corps a lot and returned to Vietnam in 1969 to take command of a sniper platoon. The unexpected end. On September 16th, a 500-pound mine exploded on the troop carrier Hathcock. Hathcock was ejected from the truck as it exploded into flames. He temporarily lost consciousness before returning to extricate 7 Marines from the flaming vehicle. Hathcock had to be medically evacuated after suffering serious third-degree burns, which ruined his career as a sharpshooter. Hathcock was awarded the Purple Heart while recovering. He was also awarded with the Silver Star for this effort nearly 30 years later. Hathcock and the 7 Marines he rescued were flown by helicopter to the USS Repose, and then to a naval hospital in Tokyo, and finally to the Brooke Army Medical Clinic's burn center in San Antonio, Texas. Giving back to the next generation. Hathcock helped develop the Marine Corps Scout Sniper School at the Marine Station in Quantico, Virginia. He was in practically continuous discomfort as a result of the severe injuries he had suffered in Vietnam, but he continued to devote himself to educating snipers. Hathcock's health began to deteriorate even more in 1975, and he was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis the following year. He remained in the Marine Corps, but his condition deteriorated. He earned a permanent disability separation just 55 days shy of the 20-year mark that would have qualified him for regular retirement compensation. He received 100% disability pay after being medically released. If he had retired after 20 years, he would have received only half of his last pay grade. The departed. When he was declared medically unfit and was leaving the Marines, he felt as if the service had booted him out, and he became depressed. During this time of sadness, his wife Jo was on the verge of leaving him, but she opted to stay. Hathcock finally took up shark fishing as a passion, which helped him get over his sadness. Carlos Hathcock III, Hathcock's son, later joined the U.S. Marine Corps. After following in his father's footsteps as a shooter, he retired from the Marine Corps as a gunnery sergeant and joined the Board of Governors of the Marine Corps Distinguished Shooters Association. Hathcock died of side effects from multiple sclerosis on February 22, 1999 in Virginia, and is laid to rest at Woodlawn Memorial Gardens. In the United States Marine Corps, Hathcock is still regarded as a legend. The National Defense Industrial Association presents the Gunnery Sergeant Carlos Hathcock Award each year to an individual who has made significant contributions to the operational employment and tactics of small arms weapon systems that have benefited the U.S. military's readiness and capabilities. We hope you enjoyed the content of our video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to watch more of these amazing videos.